Hello family, friends, and YouTube. How was that for an intro? I don't know, this is my third video and I have no idea how to start it. So if you have any ideas, put them in the comments so maybe I can get some intro going. But look at me. I got gear on. Today is February 1st, 2024. It is just so happens to be the day after my daughter's 32nd birthday. And I know you're thinking, there's no way you got a daughter 32 years old. Actually, I do. And I don't look a day over 40. I know I get that too, but I am. For those of you just joining this channel for the first time, can't be a long time because this is my third video. So if you joined for the last two videos, you'll see that I purchased a brand new 2022. I know we're in 2024, but it was a brand new 2022 Honda Gold Wing, the bagger version, which is also known as the standard, but most of us are referring it to as a bagger because it just seems that's the way the terminology is. And I purchased it on January 17th, 2024. And I brought it home on January 22nd. As the motorcycle shop's 2 miles from my house, but I drove it 7 miles to go the back way because I wasn't sure about that DCT and how to operate everything. Still not sure because I haven't officially rode it. I got it home and got it put in the garage. I haven't done anything else. So I just wanted to share with you that, and also notice that I'm still got a kitchen as my backdrop. I got to change that. My wife, she doesn't like her business, our business being put in the street when it comes to her kitchen. She don't want her kitchen on display. So, you know, we've been together for 42 years, and you know the saying, happy wife, happy life. So I'm going to probably start having the vlog straight from the motorcycle until I figure out some kind of backdrop. That's not what I'm here to talk about anyway. So, Robert White mentioned, gave me a shout out, and I appreciate it. He gave me a shout out in his last video that he did a few nights ago regarding putting the tip over protection from Traction Dynamics, the tip over protection on his Gold Wing. And him and Cruise Man are coming out with a video and all that. But Mr. White gave me a shout out, but he called me Go Ryder 1, which is what I'm going by. But he didn't. He said he didn't get my name, and that's not his fault. I never gave it. But my name is Gerald McAllister. Mac is what I go by, M-A-C. So if you ever want to send me comments or something and say Mac, I'm okay with that. I just intentionally didn't do a site that was done in my name. I didn't want to do that. Max McAllister, spelled the exact same way, except Max, M-A-X, McAllister, is Traction Dynamics. He and I are not related in any kind of way. I wish we were. I would get all kind of good deals, but we're not. I retired from the Tennessee Department of Corrections after 38 years. I was a warden, superintendent of the Tennessee Corrections Academy, statewide tactical commander for all tactical operations in the state when it regards the prison system, and a whole bunch of other things that really aren't here or there, but they can be Googled. So I'm not trying to be top secret about anything. I'm not undercover in any kind of way. It's just that I'm retired from that life. I'm moving on with my new life, and I just thought maybe some of you would want to know why I don't go by my name as my site, and that's why. In any of my videos, you will not see me or hear me mention my family by name. I mean, I'll say my wife, my son, my daughter, something like that, my grandson and stuff, but I will not call them by their name. I'm very protective of my family, and with that line of work I was in, I guess you can understand that. This is me just opening up a little bit so you get to know a little bit about me, but not a whole lot, because what else are we going to talk about if you don't get to know me over maybe the next few years? So when I do motovlogs, when I'm just talking, and I don't have a problem talking, when I'm doing these vlogs, I will not do a vlog from my motorcycle in my own neighborhood or in my own driveway or at my, I will not show this my street name or anything like that. I'm quite sure you could search it and find it if you wanted to. It's just all those years, I'm just very protective of my family, and I'm assuming you can respect that. But that's not what this is about. This is about a nice day outside in Tennessee for a change. I might have one tomorrow too. It might be a nice day tomorrow too. But I am riding a Gold Wing today. I am riding a DCT, and I'm going to ride this DCT until I am comfortable with it. If it takes me all day and I ride all day, I'm going to. Now I'm going to stay away from some heavy traffic, heavy traffic and stuff like that for right now until I get accustomed to it. I'm going to practice some some slow turns and stuff like that, and take you along for the ride. This is technically my first ride, so therefore this is going to be my first true review of the brand new Gold Wing. And I'll explain to you maybe on the road why I got a bagger over the one with the parachute in the back, the trunk. I came from a Hayabusa world, and yes, I am a crotch rocket fan, and that's what I always have been. And that was my love. I had a 2013 Suzuki Hayabusa. I had the limited edition, so it's the Bumblebee one, the black and yellow. I loved it. 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 Unfortunately, I had both knees replaced, and over time it became more and more difficult. I could not get in that riding position on that bike. So a few years ago, I gave it up, and that was my baby. Not to replace my wife. But anyway, we're going to go for a ride. I'm going for a ride. You can just tag along, and let's see how this DCT Gold Wing experience is going to be. It is a big bike. It's not as tall as what I'm accustomed to, but I'm for comfort. And as you can see, I have gear on so that I can be comfortable. I have never had, just FYI, I have never had a jacket this long. I wore them short with all kind of padding in it. Now this one's got elbow pads, shoulder pads. It's also got a back pad that's just awkwardly positioned. I'm not reviewing this as a jacket. I'm just letting you know that that's kind of weird to feel that in the center of my back. But enough talk. Let's go ride a Gold Wing. Let me begin by apologizing for the audio. I had to put all my audio, tested it out, and put my helmet on and everything right before going on the ride. And of course, it never recorded the sound. So I'm going to do this simply because this was my first ride, and I promised you that I would produce something, letting you know my experience. How you like them red valve covers? Yeah, I'm not a fan. As you can see, I only got 61 miles on it. That's only 1 mile from my house. Still can't get over them red valve covers, but some people like it. I can get used to it. I do know that they're aftermarkets. As you can see here, I'm pointing to where I put in the battery tender, Junior. I saw a video on how to install it and make it come out that little vent, and I will add that link in the description of a video that's really great. Now, the whole purpose of this ride here is, again, just to show you about riding, and I'm not intimidated by the motorcycle itself. I don't want to mislead anyone. It's just that, you know, the Gold Wing has so many options, so many buttons, so many different things that it's a little overwhelming when you look at it. So what we're going to do, and what I did in this actual video here, is I just focused on the riding part. Now, what I wanted to know was, can you put it in drive without pushing on the brake? And the answer is yes. Can you put it in neutral without putting on the brake? And again, the answer is yes. So here's the switching modes, kind of like my Hayabusa, which was A, B, and C, A being the fast, I guess, sport on a Gold Wing. But I'm not going to do sport right now. I'm just going to keep it in tour. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a ride through the neighborhood. Now, my bike's named Bluebell. I don't know if that's common. Do people name their stuff from where you're at? Do you name your motorcycles, cars, and things? But here in Tennessee, we have a tendency to name it. I don't know if that's a male thing. I'm not really sure. But I'm going to release this emergency brake. I'm going to just go riding through a neighborhood. And the goal here to ride through a neighborhood is for slow speeds. Slow speeds are the only thing I'm concerned about. And I wasn't concerned about crashing or anything like that. I'm just concerned about tipping the bike over. I've heard all these videos, watched all these videos of people tipping their bike, talking about how dangerous it is at slow speeds and all that. So right here, I decided to go through a neighborhood, and the key here is to go and do right turns. Right turns is anybody can ride a bike straight. I don't care what kind of bike you got. I mean, most of the videos that you see people on their first ride, they're taking off down a highway somewhere. That's easy. Now here's a rolling right turn. There's not complicated. The Gold Wing, it dips into the curve with not much of a problem. But the whole goal is to do right turns, right turns, right turns. Left turns, you have a wider area. Left turns, you have an entire lane to cross normally when you're doing a left turn. So that's not the issue. Right turns and how short can you cut it, especially if you're in cities, towns, and stuff. So I'm gonna do some stopping and then right turns. Uh, yes, I always stop at a stop sign. Well, let's just say, yeah, I'll stop at a stop sign. But in this video, I'm definitely stopping at a stop sign simply because I want to do right turns from a dead stop. Okay, so I'm going to do a rolling turn. Again, rolling turns are not a problem, simple. But I'm a cul-de-sac. Now, cul-de-sac will give me a good idea of the rolling. And now you can see I'm still in second gear and I'm going around this cul-de-sac. I mean, it's nothing dramatic. I took it really wide because that was my first kind of big radius turn. Coming to a stop sign and I'm going to turn right. The bike's in second gear and I haven't stopped yet. So that's the gear itself it changes gears really quick. Um, I'm not used to that part, but I mean, the ride is smooth. It is very smooth. I'm in third gear and I just now coming to the stop. I mean, I just barely started rolling and went to third. So I'm going to take another right here. I'm not familiar with this neighborhood, so I'm just making rights. And this one looked like it was going back out to one of the main roads, so I'm going to have to do a U-turn. And this will be a good example of a slow turn maneuver. I'm keeping my feet on the pegs. I am slowly turning, doing a U-turn, barely moving. I'm sorry, folks. I don't see the difficulty in maneuvering the Gold Wing. I I heard a lot about it, but I'm not having any issues whatsoever. I mean, you're just getting used to the shifting of the gears on its own and not having a clutch. Not having the clutch is the main issue, but that's it. I mean, it's riding. Now I'm gonna take right turns and I'm gonna try to cut the corners really sharp. The goal here is just to see if I could cut these corners. That's where your fear is. If you were downtown somewhere, can you cut the corners? One thing I can say about the DCT, you don't have to worry about it stalling because you don't have to feather the clutch. There is no clutch to feather. So that's going to be fun. Um, I'm going to again stick with the right turn concept, and I'm gonna try to hug the turn as I make these right turns. I'm gonna try to hug these turns. And again, I'm sorry that this is being narrated, but I promised you guys I would show you my first ride, and I normally would have just not done this video and I would have threw it away, but I can't do that. I gotta let you guys know my first experience. And right now I'm pleased to say that maneuvering a Gold Wing, yes, it's a heavy bike, but you wouldn't know it. Maneuvering the wing on turns, especially right turns. Remember, that's the difficult ones. This is this is like butter. I can't believe it. It's well balanced. Everything's well balanced. But now I'm going to try this new concept, and I'm going to come into this cul-de-sac, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch it to manual mode so it doesn't change in the second or third gear while I'm going around the cul-de-sac. And I had a little problem at first because I wasn't sure once I switched it to manual mode. How do you know it's in manual mode? I'm looking at the gauge, I don't see anything light up. And then I noticed that the little D went away. So when the D goes away, that indicates that you are and that indicates that uh, you're in manual. So I'm going to go around this curve, and what I want to do here is I just want to. I'm really truly I'm trying to see how far of a lean I can make. I know eventually I will scrape a foot peg, but I'm going to cut it sharp. I want to cut sharp turns just to see what it's like. Not sure. I'm not sure if I can do it, but I'm just going to roll on out of here. That was fairly simple. As you can see, sorry for the little disruptions, but as I put it back in drive, I don't need it to be in manual and changing gears. So I'm going to hang a right, again sticking to the theme, right turns, and I think this is going to go out of the neighborhood. Yeah, this is leading out of the neighborhood. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to make, of course, another right. And I'm going to go to a curvy road. Now, I know a lot of you refer to them as twisties. I just I can't get myself to say twisties. It doesn't register to me. They're curves. Okay, I'm gonna turn right here and I'm going to hug it as close as I can to the inside lane to see if how well it balances. And as you can see, I can turn on a dime. I can turn on a dime with this Gold Wing. I am impressed beyond words. This is just, I've got a problem with this wind. Now, here I will let you know that this windshield is all the way up, and I'm not, I'm not even doing 50, and this wind is beating me. Now, granted, it's a sporty look, and they want the windshield to be sporty, but I told you I went from a Hayabusa to a Gold Wing, and I didn't go there for the purpose of being a sports rider. I want to go out on the open roads, and I plan on going out on the open roads, but I'm not going to be able to go far with this windshield. It's not going. I don't want to ride a Busa anymore. I want to ride a Gold Wing, and I want the comforts. So I will cut away at the intersection so the video doesn't wait on red lights. But I'm going to go up here and roll into these curves. Well, as you can see, the cut went right there, and now I'm going to go across the intersection and up here. Nothing dramatic, but these are dipping curves. So I'm going to let this car get out of my way. I'll give me a little distance between the Jeep in front of me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to slightly accelerate. Nothing dramatic, because like I said, I want to see how the Gold Wing dips into the curves. So I will hug the lines from time to time. I just want to get a feel of it. Now I'm not really going all that fast. Actually, I might be a hair bit over the posted number, but I'm not really going that fast. Here I'm watching that front tire of that truck to make sure it ain't rolling. I'm not trying to teach anybody how to ride motorcycles, but you need to watch the wheels, the front wheels. They're a good indication of what's going on. I just can't believe here at this point, I was just moving the bike around. I can't believe how agile the bike is. It is impressive. I mean, very, very impressive. Those of you that ride for a long time, you know how you can push your bars forward on the direction you want to turn and you can do a quick dip. The Gold Wing dips smooth. It really does. I'm impressed. Now I'm going to go right here and I'm going to turn into this church. And I'm going to turn around and go right back that same road right there. So you see it's going to look like it's a turnabout when I come back around. The reason I'm swinging so wide here, not sure how it is in where you're from, but in Tennessee, when they paint lines, they don't use any sandpaper type paint or nothing. The lines are slick. No matter where you're at in Tennessee, the painted lines are slick. Now, of course, everybody knows about wet leaves and stuff like that, but I'm sorry. Many of the times I feel like these painted lines have that same effect. So as you can see here, I'm just basically turning really sharp around to the left, which is a wide turn, but not a big deal. Now I'm going to, if you can look at the gauge over here, for those of you Ryder boots, I'm not going to tell you what the speed is, but I try to get into it a little bit here because I want to see what it's like to dip these curves. I'm going to hug the inside line, so don't get paranoid. Everything be okay. There's my truck I passed. Now I'm going to dip this curve. And I'm hitting it at a pretty, if you can look at the speedometer, for those of you that ride, you know that that's a pretty decent pace I'm riding here, and that Gold Wing handled it smooth. Again, I do not know where the breaking point of scraping the foot pegs are going to be yet. Uh, since I come from the sports bike world, it's likely that I'm going to eventually scrape a foot peg. It's just that riding style, but I'm slowly changing. I plan on, improving my riding style to a more luxury, upright riding style. But you can't take the boost out of the biker. It's just my nature. But I do like to get on it every now and then. So what I'm going to do out here is I plan on going to Interstate 24, and I'm going to gun it a little bit in tour mode and see what that tour mode is about, just raw, just plain tour mode. And then I'm going to come back down the interstate in sport mode. I probably won't do that to this bike. This will be the only time I'll probably do it to the bike until it breaks in. I'm not sure what the break-in miles are, but I'm at 66 miles right now, and 66 miles on a bike, and I really don't want to do any stress on the engine. I know everybody says a Gold Wing is like a tank, but it's a very, very expensive tank. So I'm going to try to baby it a little bit for a little while at least. So I'm going to, obviously there's a traffic jam up here, and turns out that Interstate 24 is backed up for miles simply because it's that time of year where they're fixing potholes. So I'm unable to go to the right on the interstate. I was going to go two exits down, but so I'm not going to be able to do that. As you'll be able to see here, the interstate is backed up for potholes, people. Potholes. Why they don't do it at night? Nobody knows. But this is not a wreck. These are pothole repairs that is backing up the interstate for miles. So as you can see off to the right, and you can look a little bit to the left, but you see to the right that that interstate is backed all the way up. So what I want to do, instead of going that way, I'm going to go up here and I'm going to turn left on the interstate. And since I'm going to have to just do it one time, I'm going to put this in sport mode. And and it dropped down. Boy, the gears dropped down really quick as soon as I switched it to sport mode. So this is what I feel like the bike should be running in, what gear. So I'm going to turn here, and all right, so I got the green light. I'm going to turn here. I'm in sport mode, so you can look at the speedometer. I'm going to give it a little bit. Of course, I'm going to let it roll. Let's see what it does here in sport mode. It holds onto the gears. That's what it's doing. It's holding onto the gears a lot longer. And now, I'm sorry, I'm babying this motorcycle. So I immediately came out of it. Normally I wouldn't let a car pass me on my left. Normally I wouldn't let a car pass me, period, on a motorcycle. But uh, okay, again, this is my new baby. So I'm going to treat it right. As you can tell, I slowed down a little bit. I wanted to gun it a little bit in this, and I'm in seventh gear. I'm changing lanes in seventh gear. Gunned it a little bit in sport mode still. Uh, I'm okay with that. The wind is beating me to death at this point. At this point, there's no way I could travel any long distances like this without being hunched over like that gentleman there. I would have to be hunched over, leaning forward, and that's not what I did not buy me a sports bike. I bought me a Gold Wing. This windshield would be perfect for you if you're going to just go short distances riding around town. Maybe you like that. Maybe you're one of these people that like that. Now I'm switching it back to tour mode simply because I'm going to come up to the next exit here, and you can look at the traffic. Look how far that is, people, and that's from potholes. Just repairing potholes in the middle of the day. Well, I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to get off on exit 4, the next exit. My overall view is the windshield is going to be replaced right away. I can't do this. Too much wind. I'm not that kind of rider anymore. But it's a smooth ride. It handles well, and I'm sorry I was a little, I guess you could say, a little timid about everybody talking about the slow speed maneuvers and stuff. If you got a problem with slow speeds, just switch it to manual. If you're at a stop sign or going through some area that you're really concerned that you don't want it to shift gears on you, just put it in manual mode. It's a click of a button. So I don't see the hype on the slow speed maneuvering. In fact, just pop it in first gear in manual mode and you can do whatever you want to do. I tried to scrape the pegs to see where it was at, where my lean was at, and you can get a pretty good lean on this Gold Wing. Again, I haven't scraped pegs yet, but I'm sure I eventually will. So I'm going to get off on this exit and I will catch you on the next video, but this is what I promised you guys. Thanks for watching. Until the next time, hopefully I'll have sound.